Hey Taurus, TT is here with a channel message for all of my Taurians. If you are new, welcome to our love nest over here on Talk Taurus Tarot with Tequila. If you are returning, welcome back, you guys. Before we get started in this channel message, I had a book divination that Spirit guided me to for all of my Taurians. So let's start talking about what this reading is about. This is about you returning to your roots. Okay? Why you came here, what your mission is. I feel like there's multiple timelines that are coming up in this reading. So you may be having dreams of yourself having different type of lifetime experiences. They may all be kind of like overlapping each other. If it hasn't happened yet, some of you may start to experience that type of energy where you're having more days where you're sleeping a lot, or you're feeling like you just want to sleep longer than usual. That's normal. Okay, that's what Spirit was telling me, that it's really normal to go through this process of sleeping a lot longer, or just feeling like you want to have more lazy days. So it's going to be really important that even though you may have so many things going on, like surviving and working and dealing with your everyday responsibilities, Spirit is encouraging you to make time, to spend time with the Holy Spirit, to spend time dreaming, right? Because there's something important that's supposed to go down in your dream or in the 5D. So it's going to be different for every single person, but I wanted to start off with that confirmation before we get into the book divination that Spirit guided me to. So I've been reading, well, I haven't read the book yet, but if you guys are interested, it's called Soulmates and Twin Flames, The Spiritual Dimension of Love and Relationships, and it's by Elizabeth Clare Prophet. All right. I can't remember where I got it from. I got it like a year ago, but this is my first time being guided towards the book. So normally when I buy books, or when I buy different card decks or different things like that, sometimes I won't even open it until I feel like my spirit is calling for me to incorporate it in whatever capacity. I'm drawn to it for a reason, but I don't ever really know the reason until Spirit shows me or gives me like a sign or inclination that it's time for it. So before I started the live, I have just flipped through the pages. I don't know how you guys do your book divinations, but that's kind of like how I do it. So interesting enough, it fell on page 72. So this is important, especially for those of you that are on a twin flame journey, or you have a soulmate, divine counterpart. It doesn't matter. This part is really important, and it's interesting that it showed up as the Aquarian age alchemy. All right. And we all know that we are a part of that transition of the Aquarian age from the Piscean age, right? And I believe back in April or March, I think it was April, we officially left like the Piscean age or something like that. So I'm gonna read to y'all the part that I highlighted. All right. And it says, the key to transmuting or changing past karma and fulfilling our mission with your twin flame is the violet flame, a spiritual energy given by God to man for his acceleration into the Aquarian age. This action of the Holy Spirit transforms negative energy, anger into love, irritation into peace, suspicion into trust, so that you can influence life positively as you work towards your ultimate victory on the spiritual path. When you visualize the violet flame and call it forth into your consciousness, it instantaneously begins to change negative energy patterns accumulated over thousands of lifetimes. You begin to experience feelings of joy, lightness, and hope. It's as if your entire consciousness were being dipped into a chemical solution of purple liquid, which dissolves the karma of centuries. This is the dissipation many people have been waiting for. This is why you've been evolving these tens of thousands of years, why we have gone through the cycles of understanding God as the Father and God as the Son. Now we are coming to the Holy Spirit energy, the sacred science of alchemy, of self-transformation through the violet flame. A simple but powerful violet flame mantra you can give is, I am a being of violet fire. I am the purity God desires. I am is the affirmation of the God within. The I am presence, the same presence who declared to Moses, I am that I am. This is my name forever, and this is my memorial unto all generations. Exodus 3:14 through 15. Daily immersing ourselves in the cleansing energy of the violet flame through reciting violet flame mantras is the quickest and most effective way to maintain harmony and accelerate our consciousness for our ultimate reunion with God and our twin flame. So, for more violet flame mantras, they have some on page 148. This is the baptism of the Holy Ghost that was prophesied in the New Testament by John the Baptist, Matthew 3:11. This is the gift of God to the Aquarian age. This is how the days are shortened for the elect, for the homeward journey, the overcoming of the realm of the will of rebirth. And I thought it was interesting, like there was two doves here, or two birds. So we're going to see. I don't know what deck we're going to use. I'm kind of just going to let spirit guide my hands, and that's what we'll jump into. Hey, everyone in the chat. So let's see. I hope y'all are having the best day ever. Whenever you're guided to this reading, if you're watching it on replay, so let's see. There's some energy about getting creative. All right, Taurus. This is going to be a confirmation for those of you that have been guided to like get creative and really tap into your creative abilities. I don't necessarily feel like it's really for anyone else right now. This is mainly for you, strengthening your gifts. So whether that's drawing, coloring, using your left hand, right? You may start writing with your left hand, drawing with your left hand, or doing something with both hands that allows you to utilize both parts of your brain at the same time. That's something that Spirit was showing me as well. So like cooking, baking, try to use both hands is what they're telling me. Something about when you use both hands, you simultaneously work with your left and right brain, which helps you tap into your subconscious and conscious mind at the same time. So they're telling you to get more childish or childlike, okay? Doing things that really help. Like if you could remember when you were younger, things that you loved to do, you may feel a sense of, like, even though nostalgia may bring up a lot of different negative memories, right? Let's say you didn't have the best childhood, or you didn't have the best memories with your twin flame, or there's certain things that you have moved away from and you don't want to revisit. Now is the great time. It's causing all those emotions to come up in this retrograde energy. The reason for retrograde is what they're telling me is it's a time for you to transmute those memories utilizing the violet flame, the Holy Spirit, to transmute irritation into, what is that? Anger into love, irritation into peace and harmony. So all of those memories are not just coming up for no reason. They're coming up for you to work with them. for you to work through them and not be so defensive. Defense is a it's survival mode, right? When you feel your body tense up and your shoulders are heavy and it feels like you're extremely fatigued, you're exhausted, you don't really, it's very discomforting. All right, this energy that I'm picking up on, our survival mode, our fight or flight mode triggers, and what happens is we hold a lot more than we need to. We hold on to a lot more of the experience than we have to. And Spirit is saying, like, instead of like bracing yourself, let the emotion come up, let yourself cry, let yourself experience what it's supposed to experience, and then affirm it or transmute it. So for those of you that have been asking, how do I transmute this, or what can I do, you can refer back to the beginning of the video, or you could purchase that book that I told you about that will help you transmute those memories back into source consciousness, back into that divine love. Okay. They're showing me a vision of, you know, like when you're about to get into a car accident, a lot of the bodily damage or trauma to the body comes from when we brace ourselves. So many of you have been bracing yourselves for that person returning, and asking you certain things, whether that's karmic family members, karmic romantic partners, people that have hurt you before in the past. Your body goes into, it holds the trauma when you brace yourself. So Spirit is saying you don't need to brace yourself. It's coming up for a reason. Like you can get whiplash. You know how like in a car accident, a chiropractor was saying that one time, a lot of the trauma that's held in the body, it comes from whiplash. And whiplash is a result of you tensing up your body as a way to brace yourself for the impact that you know you're about to experience from that car accident. That's what this energy is like right now. Those memories are coming up. Those exes are returning. And the reason why those exes are returning and they're coming to your forefront is because those are the areas in your subconscious mind that want to be worked through. Those are the areas of those memories where it's attached to a negative experience, a negative connotation, a negative emotion. And you can journal this, you can write it out. It's a space of introspection. And we say this a lot of times, like when we say do the shadow work, do the work, go within and do X, Y, and Z. But I feel like Spirit keeps showing me specific things. So many of you are needing examples of what that looks like. Okay, you can journal about it. You can draw pictures. You can paint things about it. You can cry about it. You can take that in memory and say the words to your inner child or that version of you during that timeline where you were experiencing that, and you can forgive yourself and forgive that version of yourself that didn't know better. Forgiving your parents. And every single time there's a retrograde, this is going to happen again. It's a natural disaster that's meant to be a blessing in disguise, especially when you know more about why it's happening and what it's intended to do. Okay. So how to transmute those feelings is those examples that I just gave you. And the book that I got the message from is called Soulmates and Twin Flames, The Spiritual Dimension of Love and Relationships. Elizabeth Clare Prophet wrote it. It's pretty affordable. All right. I don't do that many books, but they do serve a purpose. So from this experience, going through this experience is going to let you release any resentment. It's going to allow you to release any regrets that you have, missed opportunities, any stagnant energy. But how do I say this? You may feel like you're not focusing on the negative energy, you yourself, but if your body is having a physical reaction to the negative experience, like your shoulders are tensing up, you're feeling discomforted, you're tired of hearing the same repetitive messages about who's coming towards you, it's not who you want to hear about, things like that. Those are physical indications that because you don't want to hear it, you're getting more of it, right? So because you don't want to hear from that karmic partner, or you don't want to hear from your twin flame, or you don't want to hear from people that are always betraying you, you don't really care to hear those messages. The reason why it keeps coming up is because you're focusing on what you don't want versus allowing the energy to come through, feeling the discomfort of whatever is attached to those experiences, and then releasing it, right? You can't go under it, you can't go around it, so you got to go through it. So Spirit is saying, as a collective Taurian energy, we have this great ability to connect with source in a different way. We have this great ability to affirm what we do want, and as a collective, tapping into that violet flame energy and allowing ourselves to go through the experience and supporting each other from a spiritual aspect is way more beneficial than saying, I know this is not what you want to hear. I don't care what you want to hear. I'm going to tell you what you need to hear so you could do what you need to do. Thus, this separates the difference between sitting around and talking about it and then doing something about it. So Spirit is saying it's time to do something about it. And doing something about it is very simple. It's an everyday relationship that you have with your God, with the God within you, right? Not just telling Spirit what you want and manifesting, but alchemizing the negative experiences back into that whole love, that universal consciousness. All right, Spirit, what message do you have? Yeah, I'm burping and belching a lot, so it's a lot of purging. We got rest. Yeah, rest. So we got the bear, and this is rest, so hibernation. For those of you that don't really know how to transmute, Spirit is saying all you need to do is go to sleep, get more rest, get more sleep, quiet your mind. Another thing that a friend of mine told me, he's the one that introduced me to, what was that thing called? Oh yeah, sleep. What do they call it? Sleep. Frequencies. Yeah. So like geared towards certain chakras. Be intentional with how you rest as well. Set the intention. Create that sacred space with different herbs. You can burn incense and different things like that, because you are earth energy, right? So utilizing your element is going to be your strongest alchemist, right? Alchemy. Yeah. So you're going to utilize herbs, utilize what you eat, touch, feel. A bear in the certain parts of the year, winter, they store, right? So Spirit is saying your body has stored up so much negative energy through absorbing television, through absorbing social media, through absorbing conversation. Empathically, you've absorbed just the energy in the room. You don't even have to know the people, have a conversation, but everywhere you go, your first connection is your environment. You feel what I'm saying? So you can trick yourself to perceive it differently, right? You take a page out of the Tricksters book. And when I say that, I mean, think about what trickster energy does. Trickster energy, when people have betrayed you or tricked you, if you analyze the way in which they had the opportunity to trick you to even begin with, what did they do? They studied you, Taurus. They studied your movements. They studied the way that you interact with your environment. And rather than directly talking to you, they did like, what did the wolf do to Little Red Riding Hood? All it did was tag along with her. All it did was walk with her through the woods. So your enemies, your foes, the tricksters that come towards you, they just watch you. They just observe and watch you. And eventually what you do, Taurus, is you're going to naturally talk about your day. You're going to naturally say what you've done. You're going to naturally give, because you're like Little Red Riding Hood. All right. So Spirit is saying, take a page out of the trickster's book. All this time that the trickster energy has been walking with you and around you and in your auric field, you were meant to be gathering information as well. You were meant to be studying the trickster as well. You can only be tricked if you give up that, if you give up that willpower, right? This is why, what they say, keep your enemies close, but keep your enemies even, keep your friends close, but your enemies even closer. Because while they're studying you, you're studying them. And some of you already know how to do this, but for those of you that don't, I really feel like Spirit is wanting you to see the duality in this, right? There's this Piscean age of eradicate negativity, get rid of it. Both are, you can't get rid of it. You can't get rid of negative energy. That's the Piscean age of, beat it out of a person, kill them, lock them up, get rid of them. There's no such thing in the Piscean age of really rehabilitating humanity, right? It's more or less like it's either you are or you're not. It's either you're good or you're bad. It's either you're this or you're that. So a part of this energy, from what you know about your past or what you know about generations before you, is blending, okay, bringing negative and positive back into wholeness isn't something that the Piscean age really wanted to do. It wanted it to create a better world by eradicating the negative energy. If you haven't seen Guardians of the Galaxy, Spirit's referring me to that movie. And I'm referring to the new one because this is making me think of the raccoon. The raccoon that was in the movie. I'm not going to spoil it because it's a new movie, but the part when you watch the movie, just pay attention to how the creators of each world wanted to create the perfect planet or the perfect earth. And a part of doing that, they were willing to do anything to eradicate aggression, anger, all the negative attributes out of whatever they were creating. But that process lacked humility. It lacked empathy. It lacked all the great things that positive energy has. There was no peace, right? So I feel like, Taurus, what Spirit is asking you to do is for you to facilitate humanity. Your mission is to facilitate humanity, bring fairness, equality, justice from a balanced standpoint versus it being this or that, good or evil, right or wrong. Yes, those negative experiences happen to you, but on your journey, you might feel like it's not your strong suit. You might feel like a lot of things happen to you that you don't want happening to you. There is a silver lining in those experiences. You know what I'm saying? And I'm trying to get it. And that's because I'm like quieting my Keela, right? My human mind, my logical brain, and I'm really tapping more into my spiritual higher self, right? And this is a process because from an alchemy standpoint, this is alchemy right here. So if I was to describe the alchemy that they're showing me, it feels like those negative experiences, it's like it's not a curse, it's not your weakness, it's not something that is meant to destroy you or to break you. You're meant to take those experiences and transmute it into something good. The process of transmutation is alchemy, right? So yes, you may have been cheated on, lied to. Yes, your trust may have been broken, and people around you may look at you like you just keep getting back up, even though you done fail over and over again. You may really be hard on yourself, like, I gotta stop allowing people to take advantage of me, or I gotta stop this, I gotta, stop being so nice, stop forgiving people. That's actually exactly what you're meant to do. You're meant to forgive. You're meant to be exactly who you are, even in amongst those that tell you that it's stupid or it's not wise, right? That's that trickster energy. The design of the trickster energy is to make to do a plot twist on you, right? Make you so fed up with being misused and abused that you trick yourself into counting yourself out of your own blessings, that you trick yourself into believing that your empathy is your downfall. As long as you're perceiving things from that perspective, you won't be able to see the trick for what it is. You got to be able to see that those experiences was your gift. It was your greatest blessing. And I feel like you're about to take a page out of the trickster's book here. That's what I feel like. And you're going to be very successful, and you're going to heal. Look at that, kindness and rebirth. Come through, Spirit. Hold on. So let's see exactly how you're about to do this. Every time you go into hibernation and you go into healing and you go into these stages of shadow work and all those different things, and you connect with source on a daily basis, you can't be tricked because you can already see everything. You can see quite clearly. But you get with harboring energy, that's Taurus energy, right? We hoard things. So that's very significant to the bear. The bear will hoard for the cold seasons, right? So you may tend to prepare for a rainy day. You may have those traits of like the bear, where nothing really can catch you off guard because you're already 10 steps ahead. You know what I'm saying? Because if you look in this picture, this bear has like packed on some extra weight. They packed on some extra weight. So you have some energy that you need to release because you done took on some, in the winter seasons, you may gain weight. So you may go through this period of release. But it feels like spiritual absorption. A lot of times they say like, Taurian energy, like you may hold back from saying certain things that you want to say to be fair or not to be negative. All right. So a lot of times Taurian energy can be affected by their thyroid, their throat. So your throat chakra may also be imbalanced. And throughout this rest period, you're going to find yourself utilizing negative and positive energy. And when I say negative and positive energy, let me give you an example, right? For those of y'all that are going to be like, oh, I don't want to be negative at all. Stop it. All right. What I'm saying to you is, identity, right? You've attached so much emotions to it, and but the business isn't making any money, right? Or the job isn't making any money. There's a lot of conflict. There's a lot of, underhanded things happening. There's a lot of extra people that may not support you. It may be very difficult to get something moving, or pick up for yourself. Because this is giving me ambitions with the Father of Wands. And you may be trying really hard to get it to go in a positive direction, right? To make it continue building revenue. And all of these people are not really there yet, but this is like, you believe that they're going to come. You know that the momentum is going to pick up. But from the Piscean age, they taught you to work harder, not smarter. So they taught you to burn yourself out, right? To pick up more hours, to get less sleep, and sacrifice all of those different things that are key elements to helping you be the best version of yourself, right? The Piscean age taught you to do things in a negative cycle and burn yourself out, and to shorten your days on earth. And if you're shortening your days on earth, then you're releasing all of that energy. Who's getting all of that energy? Well, it's going to be the elect, those that understand that as long as they have you going on that hamster race in the wrong direction, all your energy is going to be siphoned, and it's going to go directly to those that are working smart and not hard. So you really got to watch Galaxy of the Guardian. It's like they're studying you. They're observing how you will fight super hard to see something through, no matter how much resistance they pull your way, or no matter how much chaos energy is taking your way. They're observing and studying Taurian energy of how resilient you tend to be when it comes to something that you really, really want really bad. But at any given moment, you take a page out of the trick book, you alchemize the situation, and you start deciding what you want to indulge in. You start deciding, well, you know what? I don't feel like it. I don't feel like exerting my energy, for every last person every single day, because they expect me to show up, or they expect me to always be here for them when they need me. You don't owe anybody anything. But that Piscean age is saying, I have to give them what they came for. I have to perform. If you notice, that's that oppressor type of energy. What is it going to take to get Taurus to perform? They have mastered that in order to get Taurus energy to perform, we have to create opposition for them. We have to bring chaos energy their way. We have to not give them what it is that they want. And Taurus will exert themselves over every single day until they feel like they're getting some traction. And then they give you a little bit of traction and a little bit of traction. And let's say you are a content creator, right? Well, through studying energy and alchemizing the situation, they have determined that when they give you just a little bit, you work harder. But when they give you a lot, you become lazy. Right? So in order to trick you into making you perform and work harder, this is all spiritual realm now. In order to trick you to make you work to perform in the capacity in which they want to perform you, which is to burn you out, to overwork you, to make you tired, what they do is create fear that you will lose out on your opportunity. Fear is the underbelly, right? That's the subconscious conversation. That's the between the lines is always fear. Fear is what gets you waking up in the morning early as fuck to make sure you clock in on time, because I'm afraid I'm going to lose my job. I'm worried I'm going to lose my house. I'm worried I'm going to lose my car. I'm worried I'm not going to be able to feed myself or my family. So through that worry, fear, all those different programs that were ingrained in us from the Piscean age becomes the very thing that they're able to trick you with and get you to perform every single day of your life. Now, I want you to imagine trying to push a big ass rock boulder up a hill, right? And it's at an incline. All right, just imagine this for a second. It's at an incline. And imagine trying to push a rock up a hill. All right, because this is the biggest trick ever performed. The biggest trick ever performed on humanity was a way to facilitate the whip. All right, I'm going to say, yes, I said whip, WHIP. The whip of oppression was to convince you through getting this rock up the hill that you were one day going to make it, right? And then before you know it, you're retired, you're tired, and you're existing for a 401k, right? You're existing just to receive recognition from your bosses that you're never going to get. You're existing just to put food on the table. So instead of having to technically whoop you with an actual physical whip, they alchemized the situation and they created narcissism. Yeah, narcissism. Narcissism is fear tactics, utilizing fear tactics to make you perform and work harder, and never having to ever physically touch you, but to subconsciously control you and subconsciously trick you into your ego being the driving force. So this is your identity. So the questions really are, what do you identify with, right? What does Taurus identify with? When you look at yourself in the mirror, what do you identify with? Who are you? Are you the person with the degree? Are you the person with the perfect marriage? Are you the person that raised kids? Are you the person that made something of themselves out of your neighborhoods? Are you the person that did things differently from your family? Whatever it is that you identify with, the trickster energy is exploiting it at all times. You see what I'm saying? The trickster energy is going to always exploit your ego. I want to have the perfect body. I want to have the perfect face. I want to have the perfect look. I want the attention. I want people to say nice things to me, or whatever it is you identify as. You know, whatever your reasons are, the trickster energy is always going to be sitting there in the background, waiting to make an arrangement with you, waiting to make an agreement with you. They know the truth. The trickster energy always knows the truth. But when those spells were initiated in the Piscean age, it was designed to keep you on your hamster wheel. It was designed to make the perfect creation out of you. And how they did it was by getting you to look at yourself based off of the algorithm, to look at yourselves based off of the society, social statuses, what your bank account looks like, right? Your tax brackets, all of these different things were ingrained in the grid to keep you stuck, right? So if you're, let's use relationships as an example, right? Let's say that you are, you identify with 4, 5, 6, 6. Let's say that your ego only knows a certain type of relationship, right? Let's talk about types of relationships. Let's say your ego only knows the type of relationship that you grew up in, right? Whether it was toxic, healthy, or whatever. A lot of times what happens is between the ages of birth to 5, you have been imprinted on. That imprinting process was given to you by your parents. But remember, if your parents gave it to you, you also got to understand what trick did they come into agreement with that caused them to live that life that they experienced? And how are they passing it on to you? How are they passing it down to you? Now, you may have a drawn attraction to a certain type of woman or a certain type of man, or you may be really drawn to a certain type of love based off of your upbringing. This is why it's so important to understand what your roots are, right? So let's say your father had the roots of, they were a hard worker, they never took a day off, they always showed up for work. Your father, and this, many of us have this experience. Your father sacrificed themselves to make sure that there was food on the table. You never had to worry about things for your children. They were a stand-up person. And to the day they died, they never wavered. They were always consistent. So now that is the pentacle of that ego, right? That is the ace of pentacles in somebody's reality. And because that example was set before you, you're going to naturally pull from what you grew up in, what you know to be true, because you had a great childhood. Now place yourself in that I am position. Now you're the person that has to mate and court and get to know people out here. Based off of your father's, the way your father raised you and the standards that he maintained, you're holding yourself to that same standard, right? Some of you, you're holding yourself against whatever standard that they didn't have. And there's a trick involved in that too. But let's stick on the ones that have the father that was the perfect example of the emperor energy, right? The father archetype. In order to get your father to go to work every single day and to put food on the table, the system had to instill fear in your father. It was fear that kept your father going to work every day to put food on the table. It was the fear of not being able to provide for you, that where he sacrificed his body every single day to make sure that you had everything that you need. So now what he's really passing down to you is fear. Right? So now the father passed down fear to you, and you're applying that same rote learning behavior. I'm going to figure out, well, I know I don't want this. I know I don't want to experience not having this because I didn't grow up like that. My parents didn't treat me like that. But remember, what's being passed down to you, yeah, you got the memories and it looks pretty, but it's really the fear that's sitting in your subconscious mind. So now here you have the Holy Ghost and Spirit trying to tell you, well, what if I told you, Taurus, that you don't have to work hard? What if I told you that you don't have to work hard like your parents did? You sitting there like, what? What you mean? I don't got to work hard. Well, what does it look like? So now you're having to figure out, what does not working hard look like? That's a hard thing to try to concoct off yourself, right? Because you don't have no role models. You don't have no examples to show you what working smart looks like and not hard. So now Spirit has to make it so real for you to the point where you'll see it in your dreams, but it's like, how do I manifest it into reality? So now we're talking alchemy. So let's slide over into alchemy, right? Alchemy says that if Spirit has showed you in your dreams that if you focus on your relationship with Spirit, if you focus on your daily due diligence, like I read to you in the beginning of the book, of connecting with that source energy, that source is going to give you the energy within you, right? This is channeling your spirit. Your spirit is then going to attract you to the more positive things that you desire, right? So you want to pay your bills and you want to keep your lights on and things like that. Working hard tells you get less sleep. Working smart says get more sleep. I know that sounds crazy, right? But Spirit is saying your blessings is coming from you resting. You gonna be you're meant to not have to work like a slave. You're meant to not have to work 40, 80 hours a week to do what you can do in your sleep. You get what I'm saying? All you got to do is the same trick that was used to oppress your forefathers, the same tricks of fear that was used to get your forefathers to perform every single day at an optimal level, right? And they teach managers this. The crazy part about it is when you become a manager and you go into school to be like business administration, they teach you the alchemy of how to get people to perform as employees. Remember, when you go to high school and college, they're only training you how to be an employee. They're not training you how to be a sovereign being. They're not training you how to be self-sufficient and self-reliant and self-taught. They're training you how to be industrialized. They're training you how to be a part of a system that keeps everything moving. And if you're keeping everything moving, then you are never in control over your life. You are always being controlled by someone else in the background that sits on the throne while you fight every single day to go to work, while you fight every single day to make the relationship work, make the job work, make your dreams come true. You don't got to make shit happen. You really just got to rest. So I'm going to try to put this in layman terms as best as possible. So stay with me, okay? What if we replace fear with love? No matter what it looked like. What if we replace, I'm doing this because I'm afraid of losing that person, place, or thing, and we changed it into, I'm doing this because I love doing it. And the moment that I no longer love doing it, I have every right to let it go and to try something new. This is the season, you're in the era of time where you're meant to just try a whole bunch of shit. Right? You're meant to just take a break and try things. Try everything that you never got to try, that your forefathers never got to try, and see if you like it, if it calls to you, if it speaks to you. What you're doing every single time you make a decision to let go, no matter what you once identified with through your ego, you stop participating. This is how you spiritually walk out of a business, a major business of energy ciphering, right? This is taking your essence. Your most vital life force is your ability to feel energized. Your energy source is being drained. Forget the person that you think is draining you. Spirit is saying the fact that you're participating in the matrix is the biggest energy drain that ever existed. And while you're so busy focused on the person around you that's energy draining you, you need to pay attention to what's energy draining you in the ethers. You know what I'm saying? Because you're so busy fighting, oh, it's that person. I just got to get away from that person. I just got to get away from that job. I just got to get away from that thing. But you have a whole court. All right. You have a whole court of secret societies, elites. You have a whole court of people in high places that pay big money to watch you continue participating in your hamster wheel. That keeps you participating in your performance. So your energy is siphoned. This is a simulation. So when you ever heard of, like, I think that's called, what's that thing called when you leave your job? I'm not telling you to like physically leave your job, okay? Let me go ahead and put a disclaimer out there before people say, oh, TT told me to walk out and quit. Don't be foolish. Don't be foolish. All right? Work smart, not hard. And saying that I told you to do that is you working hard, not smart. What I am saying to you is There was physical movements, right? We're talking about ancestors that did things on a physical plane, right? That's the Piscean age. They had to physically march to fight for freedom and evolution, right? They had to physically work their body, right? But here you have spirit in the Aquarian age saying that if you're still working your body at this point, you're a day late and a dollar short, because they've been transitioned from physical manual labor into technology. The moment that the baby boomers brought about technology and the ascension of that, they automatically casted that spell of subliminal messages. They automatically casted that spell of subliminal manipulation through fear tactics, right? If you notice, majority of the news will show you war beginning on a day of chaos. Usually on a Tuesday, you will notice a lot of news will come to you, and it'll be about different wars and different things like that. They utilize stimulation of your chakras by giving you color frequencies on a TV screen. Absorbing white noise is so unproductive, right? But they support you consuming white noise because it disconnects you from source consciousness, right? It disconnects you from source consciousness. So of course the algorithm is going to support all of the channels that's feeding you white noise, and you sleep to it, and you feel like you are doing something special because it's lowering your anxiety, but they're really giving you anxiety. They're giving it to you. And then you wake up and you don't even know why. Because they've been transitioned from tricking you by doing it in front of you. So the only way to trick you is to do it subconsciously. The subconscious realm is the most profitable realm, and everything else that you physically do is only a byproduct of that. When they mastered that, the spell bin went out. The spell bin was casted over humanity. Right? They can almost predict what you're going to buy next. That's how much in tune they are with your rhythm. That's how much in tune they are with knowing what your fears are. Selling fear is the most profitable thing right now. Right? But when fear no longer has a grip on you, you can hear it. You can hear it. Anyone can speak about it, hear it, but you understand that you don't have to commit it into your subconscious mind. You don't have to let it plant itself in your subconscious mind and grow and foster into back outside of you into humanity. You can be that I am. I'm aware that I am God. I am aware that I am always in control of what I will and will not accept. But like I said, like it says, ego is, in order to surrender your ego, you have to cultivate gratitude. You have to start looking for things to be grateful for. I don't care if you live in a tent outside. You gotta find things to be grateful for. I'm grateful I got this tent. You know what I'm saying? And then it says, be of service to others. So now you have to take something that feels shameful to you, like, oh my God, I'm only living in a tent. No, you better be proud that you living in a tent. You better be proud that you were able to, I don't know how I was able to figure out how to pitch this fort, but I did it. And now I want to teach you how I pitch the fort. That's how you help others. Because if you think that you're the only person in the world that is pitching forts and sleeping in tents, you are literally separated from source consciousness. If you think that your reality is the only thing that's important and you're the only person going through that experience, you're detached from source. If it's happening to you, it's happening to billions, trillions. You are not special. We are only a speck in the universe. And if that statement is to be true, then we have to start realizing that there's nothing to be ashamed of. And then if you see people coming to you trying to trick you out of what you know to be true, trying to laugh at you or say, oh, that's a shame, you should have it all together by now, you shouldn't have to go through this, you're this age, whoop, whoop, whoop. That is what you call a non-active player. Non-active players will be utilized by the system to trick you into feeling shame, trick you into feeling embarrassed, trick you into feeling like you're not doing something right and I don't know what I'm doing anymore. It's a trick. And of course, they're going to utilize the people closest to you. When the people closest to me start telling me that I'm crazy, when the people closest to me start telling me that, you know, I can't believe you said that, or I can't believe you really said it out loud, I get excited. Okay, I get excited because that's only confirmation that I'm doing something right. If you are not receiving that type of pushback, then you still in the matrix. That's how I look at it. All right. And I'd be damned if another person tell me different. But this is saying be of service to others. So what does that mean? You take your experiences that feel so uncomfortable, and then you share with other people how you pitch that forward. And they're going to say, where did you learn how to do that? I taught myself. That's self-taught energy. Boom. That's one right there. You apply it to your everyday life. Right? Let's say you decide that you want to teach yourself something. Man, y'all have the strength of with spirit behind you, with spirit channeling within you. You have the strength of 1,000 men or more. That is untouchable energy. So spirit is saying you're going to go through experiences and you're going to teach yourself as the Hierophant energy, right? How to work through that energy in your current life and your current circumstances. Then you're going to share with other people how you did it, providing value that's beneficial and not a distraction like the Matrix. See, because that bullying, fear tactic shit, like, oh, I'm going to take something away from you if you don't work hard, or that's a subliminal message being directly sent to you by the elite to make you afraid of being your true authentic self. It's not real. Okay. And then it says, and come from your heart. So what does that mean? Some of y'all might cry. You might have to cry yourself through it. I'll never forget. What was this? 2020? I was mad. I had to become homeless. Right? I'm like, how the hell I'm supposed to leave and I have nowhere to go. I have 3 kids with sickle cell. And you're telling me, and I heard a voice loud as fucking day. Move. And I tried to resist it as long as I could. Huh?
I'm gonna be like the boss of me.
She trying to be the boss of you? See, that's what they try to do. They try to be the boss of you. Tell her she's not the boss of you.
I already did. He didn't listen.
She didn't listen? Okay, you told her once? Okay, then she gonna learn the hard way. You tell her every time? Huh? She still don't listen? Well, let her learn the hard way. Here. You don't gotta keep speaking more than once, son, okay?
I think so.
Look, all the children come in.
Ow.
All the children when it comes in, okay? So let me go back to my story. So in 2020, I had got to a point where I hit rock bottom, right? Hitting my own rut and my own rock bottom was the biggest blessing that could ever happen to me. So Fast forward, before I get to this year, I'm going to tell you what happened that year. Things just aligned where I didn't have the money for a rental. The fucking money showed up. All the fucking, what's the things called? The stimulus. There you go. So the stimulus showed up right on time, like literally the day before I was supposed to pick up my rental. So the rental place, I had booked this rental to go pick up this car because I was trying to escape getaway, right? I was trying to escape getaway with my kids. And so I was like, I was so hesitant. I was so hesitant to if I should like cancel the rental because the money didn't show up. The night before, like literally 11 p.m. the night before, it had cleared my bank account. So the next day I got the rental. So tell me how I got the rental for a car. But I was like, I really need a van because I really wanted to take my clothes and I wanted to take my job with me. So come to find out, the person at the when I went to pick up the car, they was like, I'm sorry to let you know that we don't have any cars available. All we have is a van. Look at God. All they had was a van. Okay. So the van, I ended up getting the van. So now I'm driving all the way to Texas, right? I'm moving from Georgia. I'm driving to Texas. And my concerns was that I wasn't going to be able to afford their medical bills. I wasn't going to be able to. So there was a lot of concerns that were coming up. That year, for 2 years straight, my kids didn't get sick not one time. When I tell you 8 years of practically living in the hospital, they went 2 years with not even a cold. Not even a fucking cold. They were a lot more happier. The world was quiet. And we were at our highest, I would say, energy level. Because it was like a blessing. 2020 and 2021 was the biggest blessing. Not for all of the resources that came, but it was because the world stood still long enough for that connection to be established. And it was through those experiences where those testimony experiences where I was like, can nobody tell me that I didn't just see that angel? Can nobody tell me that that spirit wasn't working on my behalf? And it came through meeting adversity. It came through, letting go of anything that was making me feel stressed. If my shoulders tensed up, I was out of there. If I felt like I had to work extra hard, it was deuces. Nothing on earth during those 2 years was ever going to stress me out. Now, here's where the test got even harder. In 2022, right, I had a steady thing going, right? And I shared like my whole journey on my other channel, Talk Tequila. I shared my whole journey. My very first video that I posted, like y'all see me on there, I was snotting, I was crying, I was pissed, but I documented my entire experience. And throughout that process, I was still connecting. I learned how to do readings. Literally, I learned how to channel from 2021 till now. So prior to this, my physical experience had absolutely no recollection of tarot or anything like that. But anyway, I digress. This entire process I documented, and through that ego death, I realized it was hard. Shadow work is hard. You see what I'm saying? Shadow work is fucking hard, and it's still hard. Something that never ends. So if you're doing it just to get something that you want, you will digress. This is a relationship, right? This is a long, everyday relationship that you establish, and it will have adverse effects on you because you have to understand the enemy never sleeps. So the enemy is never going to sleep. The trick is never going to stop being played. You have to learn how to work with the trickster. You have to learn how to play chess and not checkers. You have to put yourself through rigorous experiences and stop being lazy. And when I say lazy, I mean mentally lazy. All right. I can't do it. It's too hard. All of those are constructs that was given to you. It doesn't belong to you. The Ace of Wands is saying the power is always going to be rooted within your experience. Look at this, Temperance as well. I'm telling you, you swimming with sharks. Some of y'all are about to be really swimming in the deep end with the Son of Wands. Look at this shit. This is like, this person is in here. They have a phone and they swimming underwater with alligators in a damn aquarium. And then there's this circle here where people are watching. You're about to do something that ain't never been. This like David's in the lion's den or something, like Daniel in the lion's den. Yeah. The only way you're able to do that is by being connected to source consciousness. That's the only way you're going to be able to do that. You're connected and rooted in your roots. It's going to be how the animals, it's like in the movie Avatar, they make movies about everything that's happening right now. That intelligence, that interconnected intelligence is going to have the animals literally communicating with you, and it's back to a natural space that is instinctual. This is respect. But Spirit wants you to know that it's not going to come from people. They're just going to be the observers. Okay? They're just the observer. What's happening with inside of you, your desire to go on adventures, to do things differently, it's coming from a space of raw creator energy inside of you, your masculine and your feminine energy within you, your right and your left brain. And some of you, you're going to be doing one trade during one season. You're going to be doing something different during another season. But it's like you're mastering, like jack of all trades. Things are just going to come to you naturally. Like, it's like you did all of these things in prior lifetimes. So you came here with all of these different gifts and abilities already in your subconscious mind. So the moment you touch it, it's like your body's just going to start, it's stored in your body. That's what Spirit is saying. All of your gifts and abilities is stored in your body. You know, this is like literally never knowing how to fucking swim, and then you get in the water and you just start swimming, and you like, I thought you didn't know how to swim. You like, I thought I didn't know how to swim either. And then you're swimming. It literally, like, you just cook and you're like, I don't really know how to cook. I don't ever really cook. And then you just get in the kitchen and the shit tastes like magic. That's how easy it's supposed to be for you. That's how easy it is going to be for you. That's where your victory is going to come from. It's like learning how to do Reiki, and you ain't never did Reiki before, and you just heal a person. You just heal a person with one touch. And it's like, oh my God, how did you do that? That's because everything for you, Taurus, is supposed to be easy, not hard. So don't let your ego count you out. That's what Spirit is saying for those where this resonate. Because I feel like this really tight pressure on my left shoulder. So something could be really stressing you out, but it's a physical strain. It's more physical than it is. I get this energy like you want to take a leap of faith and do something, but it's like, should I do it? Is it the right time? I don't know. This is jumping and just trusting that the universe will catch you. Trusting that with temperance here, your hands are just going to know where to move. Like, you're being... All right, your spiritual team is saying even when you think you fail, you don't fail. And people may call it luck. People may call it an anointing. People may call it a lot of things. But this is the time period that you were always destined for. You were destined to come during this period, this Aquarian age, and you were destined to do it like this. The only thing now is really just belief. Belief is the most powerful ingredient. Without it, nothing on this dimension will operate smoothly. They gotta have your belief, right, in something in order to get you to commit to going to church every day. They gotta have your belief in a product in order for you to believe that the drugs that they give you is actually healing you, right? They gotta get you to believe in the placebo in order for it to be effective. So why not take a page out of their book and start believing in something that resonates with you so it can be effective and you can stop working so damn hard to achieve your own dreams, ambitions. And this is about fulfilling your life's mission. That's what Spirit wanted to talk about today. Some of you guys will have to leave, like, this could be leaving one platform, going to another. And even though you may prefer, right, one over the other, man, you could start anything from scratch and you could do something in a matter of months that it would take another person years to accomplish. But it only comes from you mastering, taking a page out of the trickster's book. That's your right. It's your right. Look at that. If you ain't participating in the game, there's no game. That's what they said. Like, this is, you have all the keys at your disposal, and it's literally just taking one word and replacing it with another. All right, and planting that in your subconscious mind, watering it, and watching it grow. All right, and that's how you work with your feminine and your masculine energy within you. I just gave you some game right there. So we have the Eight of Pentacles. Look at that. Eight of Pentacles. Focus. You finna be focused, man. Yeah, you gotta enjoy. You have to be in this vibration of abundance. Okay? Don't try to look too hard and dissect. Like, you can't be watching your pot. That's what Spirit is saying. No matter what it is that you are manifesting, don't watch your pot. Yes, that's torture. Why would you torture yourself by watching your own pot cook? You know what I'm saying? Somebody lied to you all. Hold on. So you want to talk about love, huh? All right, let's talk about it. For those of you, excuse me. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. All right. So let's talk about love. Because we have the Eight of Cups. The Eight of Cups and the Eight of Pentacles. So that's another 8. For those of you that are like wishing you could work with other people, like you didn't have to do it by yourself, and you wish you could like take family with you, your friends with you. Some of y'all are being asked to let go of certain friends or relationships so you can focus on doing this by yourself. If you stay and you stick around, entertain this idea for me right quick. If you stay because of loyalty, committed to those people that you want to see succeed, or those relationships, you know what I'm saying, that you care about, wouldn't you be staying out of fear that you wouldn't be perceived as loyal? Would you really be staying in those relationships or those communities or those environments out of fear that I don't know, there's like like betrayal, like feeling defeated, like I don't want to feel defeated, I don't want to give up on this person, I don't want to give up on my community. If you stay in any community or around any type of friend group, social group, in order to, I don't know what it would be for, to prove your loyalty or your love or what you're committed to, I feel like that's really control, because you're trying to be a micromanager, you're trying to oversee. Think about the energy exchange right there. You're overseeing something, right? The reason why you're staying is because you feel like without you, you know, we could get faster together if I could get everybody else to be in the same page, if I could get everybody else to think the way I think, move the way I think. That is Piscean energy. That is, if I stay in this same predicament and I feel like I have enough courage or power within me to be able to speak life into other people, what you're doing is you're sitting in the same position and you're trying to get everyone else to see what you're doing, but you haven't left them yet and went off and did anything. You know what I'm saying? This is giving me being stuck inside of a certain social group, or having certain friends or people that you're familiar with working with or being around. And you want to share all this abundance, you know, and joy. But at the same time, if you're being pushed out energetically, where it's not growing, you're going there every single day and the people around you are still just having a good time, they're not really trying to put in the same amount of work or effort with you, that is your soul saying that you've outgrown that environment and it's time for you to go somewhere else. But if you are to stay and like carry everybody along with you, then you don't really believe. That's what it's kind of saying. You're putting all of the power in your hands, which is the same thing that our society does. They put all the power in their hands, and they micromanage or task other people and then reward them through PTO. They reward them with time off, or they reward them with, you get to have end of the year celebration. Think about it in the same scenario here. Is that really abundant? Abundance says I don't have to hold on to anything because I already know I'm taken care of. I don't have to hold on to those relationships because I already know that we're going to be good. I don't need to sit back and hold myself back in order to fight with these people, or in order to get them to see or get them to focus. What this is really saying is that you've identified with believing that it takes a group effort. Nothing really takes a group effort, really. It doesn't take a village. It don't take a tribe. It don't take group effort. Once upon a time, that statement is true, but it's not true anymore. It doesn't take group effort. What it takes is you being willing to go on this journey on your own. You being willing to believe it on your own and relinquishing control of whether or not the people come with you, whether or not the relationship comes with you, whether or not, you know what I'm saying, you're making the same amount of money. If you're making the same amount of money here doing it your way and you've reached a cap, common sense would tell you to try something different. I mean, doing the same thing the same way, expecting different results. I think they call that insanity. But this is definitely saying fighting for relationships, fighting for, you know, to get people to go with you. I don't want to leave nobody behind. I don't want to, you know, I don't want to give up on that person I love. I don't want to give up on my friends in order to be with somebody. And this could be your twin, your soulmate, your counterpart. This could be the both of y'all in different ways. You're having that same type of energy. Some of y'all are giving up certain friendships, social groups. You may be sacrificing, you know, going out and having fun and partying to be more dedicated to your shadow work, be more dedicated to focusing on yourself. A lot of you as well, this is asking you to like let go of karmic relationships and be willing to work on yourself so you can have a relationship that's equal or like-minded, that's on your level with the Two of Cups. But every time I see a seahorse, I think, don't like male seahorses give birth, if I'm not mistaken? Y'all let me know in the comments, but I really think male seahorse give birth. I don't know why they're saying that or showing that to me. There's a message in the seahorse animal. It's almost like anything you could do, I could do too. You know what I'm saying? Male or female. That's the type of energy from the seahorse. That's the type of love relationship that's here. Like, I don't need to have someone stick beside me in order to be successful, because anything that they could do, I could do it too. You know what I'm saying? This is like being both masculine and feminine, realizing that the responsibility is yours. The Piscean age said that masculine was outside of yourself or feminine was outside of yourself. Now you're bringing everything into wholeness. So anything that a man could do, you could do as well. So that makes you a leader. Anything a female could do, you could do as well. So that makes you a leader as well. And there's no competition. There's no strife, because you're focused on where you're going, not where you've been, and you're focused on, it's like really being able to trust each other. You don't have to be, you can replace that suspicion with trust. Like, I don't want to have to share them with somebody else. That's suspicion. Because I work too much and, you know, people get jealous. This is like also like groups that might get jealous about your work schedule. Somebody needs to get better friend groups out here. Social groups. Just like trying to turn, excuse me, no offense, but trying to turn, you know that statement when they say trying to turn, accept people for exactly who they are when they show you who they are. Trying to turn hoes into housewives and players into homemakers, you know, or like players into stable partners. Like, this is that's control. Yeah, look at that. You got 3 cards say letting go, release. letting go of this facade, this persona, and trusting the process. There's some limiting beliefs that want to come out. Like, I can only do it if like I have to work super hard. Like, in order to make money, I have to like stay in the box. You got to start thinking. You have to, you know how they say, think outside the box. What spirit's trying to get you to do is remove the box. There is no box. If you can start seeing and visualizing that there is no box to begin with, you don't have to think outside of it. You don't have to think within it. Just eliminate the whole damn thing. Eradicate it. Sheesh. Somebody's gonna get it. Reconciliation. Heart's desires. And then we have author. Romantic feelings. I'm telling you, this has something to do with father. It was no coincidence that I was channeling a lot of messages about being a devoted father. You know, sometimes being in relationships, you'll stick into it longer than necessary because your father maybe abandon you and you don't want to abandon your child, or your father never abandoned you, so you want to live up to that expectation or that facade or that that what they passed down to you. There's this energy of, I cannot have something because I didn't make the right decision to begin with, or I can't get over whatever happened in the past because I don't believe in second chances, or I don't believe in, that this is even possible. There's a lot going on here, and seeing reconciliation for many of Tauruses is going to be a trigger statement. Why? Because anytime Taurus hear reconciliation, the first thing your mind go back to is, oh my God, X, Y, and Z. The reason why it's going back to that is because that is something that you're meant to release. You're meant to release the way that you resonate with the word reconciliation. You need to reconcile with your past based off of your family, based off of your father, based off of your mother. Reconcile with that shit. Release it. Whatever belief systems that they gave you. Reconciliation is not just one person that's on your mind that's coming back. That's your ego. Some of y'all, you got to reconcile with the past lives. Like I said in the beginning, you deserve love. A lot of this is coming from past lives that's been passed down to you, both in this lifetime and other lifetimes. Wedding. Oh, Lord. Okay. Transportation. Male, female engagement. Okay. This is going to go a lot faster. If any of these messages help you and you're able to utilize them, it's going to go a lot faster. I feel like you and your person that's out there, y'all have the same spirit. How you will know who your person is. How you will know who your person is, it's like you are them and they are you. All right? They understand your struggles. You understand their struggles. Neither one of you wants to hold the other person back. Neither one of you wants to settle for karmic relationships. That desire inside of you of not settling for karmic relationships. And listen, all of us go through series of karmics, right? Of karma. But when I say karma, I mean like you're going to be able to recognize every person that you meet. It's like you're going to have dreams that remind you of deja vu, your past life with them. You just know them. There's some lessons that you have to learn through these karmics. And I feel like the lessons that you have to learn through these karmics is, it's not a punishment. It's really just helping you see life through their eyes. Some of you have a karmic partner or a karmic ex where, I don't know, let's say you're a man, right? And you have a karmic partner that is always in competition with you. They're always jealous or they're always envious. Well, in a past life, you may have made that person feel, when the roles were reversed, like they were nothing. And so through learning those experiences, you empathize. You learn how to empathize through the eyes of their experience now. And you're able to see, it's like those karmic experiences that you have with these partners or these soulmates are making you more aware. Because I feel like you have this really strong, you and your person has a spiritual purpose that's super big. You're intended to be able to empathize with so many people and tell them exactly what's holding them back in life, and give them answers. You both have a spiritual mission and a spiritual calling. You and your person has the ability, your spiritual purpose is to be able to activate, be a catalyst in people's lives. Your spiritual gift is to help people see, their ego, their narcissistic traits, to help people see how they've been tricking themselves out of their own spot. So it's like you can look at someone and you can see exactly what's wrong with them. And it comes from your karmic relationships. It comes from your karmic family members, it's like every time you come across a karmic relationship or soulmate, whether it's family, platonic, or romantic, y'all have the ability to see both sides of the story, both sides of the coins. There's nothing that's concealed from you. You know exactly what they need to do to work on themselves. You know exactly the advice to give people. Y'all could be doctors, lawyers, medical physicians. I'm getting congested. Y'all could be spiritualists. But it does feel like the hardest thing to get you and your divine counterpart, the hardest thing to get y'all to do is get y'all to get moving again. Yeah, something about transportation. Y'all have a wound here that someone's currently healing, that you're currently releasing. So like in a past life, one of you guys may have left the other person. Y'all had no contact. Y'all didn't hear from each other ever again. Could have been lost at sea, or you felt left like Coco. All right. It's like that type of wound. You know how Mama Imelda or something, she hated the father because she felt like he left her for his career. That even when they died, they still kept that resentment, right? So much where she wanted him to literally wither away from the spiritual realm. Like, do not put their picture on the afueta. Forget that person. I feel like there's a wound here of abandonment. Like, you left me. You weren't there for me. You chose someone else over me. Or this could literally just be like y'all went y'all separate ways. That's the wound that's trying to be healed right now. So y'all could let go of feeling like someone abandoned you. All right. You and your person are going through the same issue of surrendering and letting go of that abandonment wound. Like, how could you leave me? Like, whether it was for whatever reason, because what's happening is you're allowing that abandonment wound to trick you out of your spot, out of your mission, out of your purpose. There's an abandonment wound here as well, where it's like, because I was left by my person, I don't ever want to leave the next person, and that's still a carried on abandonment wound. Or because my parents left me, I'm never going to leave this person, that's a carried on abandonment wound. All of this energy is saying that's the strife, that's what's defeating this lesson right now, and that's what spirit is trying to heal. Like, here, come drink this water and stop being so extra. Focus on what you do want and not what you don't want. The Emperor. Some of y'all, this may be the divine masculine energy. This is like, ooh, Many of like the divine masculine energy, you could be a female even in your divine masculine energy, where it's like the abandonment that you felt from someone leaving you, breaking up with you, or not choosing you has been how you have built your business or your empire. It's like looking forward and never looking back. So you've built this empire, or you built this success around, well, if you didn't want me, I'm going to be the most successful person in the world. And I'm never going to look back ever again. Yeah. But did you know that you're still carrying around that abandonment scar? And now that abandonment wound is no longer serving you. It's actually destroying you. It's actually the very thing that's defeating you from really connecting to your heart's truest desires. Pride, you know, it's restricting you from being able to tap into your empathy, your psychic abilities. It's like it's putting a cap on it. As deep as you really could go, you're not really going as deep as you could, because the frequency is stopped by the abandonment wound. So as long as you're using that as a source, using that pain as a reason to keep your head up, whether you're male or female, it don't matter. It's going to also be the very thing that makes you have a Humpty Dumpty moment. You're going to rise real high and then you're going to fall hella hard. And that's why Spirit is saying, you got to let it go. You got to let it go. See that? See the spider? It's going to consume you. You can only manifest and alchemize so much with a gaping hole. That void is going to continue consuming you. Eventually, you're going to run into the right person that's going to teach you the even biggest lesson, which is how you self-sabotage yourself. It's a lot of pride here. It's a lot of pride. It's a lot of ego. Damn. All right, let's wrap this up, Spirit. We said a lot. A lot. We have Holy Amethyst. Wasn't that not we started this entire reading off talking about the violet flame, divine alchemy. Like, you see, this is how I know when a reading is done. You having a heart awakening. Lady Nada. Awaken to acceptance and divine love. Give and receive in balance. This is what this is. And it says, move beyond current challenges. Focus on what you desire. This entire reading has been about focusing on what you do want and not what you don't want. Let me see. Where is this energy? For those of y'all that did not watch the beginning of the live, I'm going to reread it just because this is the book divination that started this whole entire reading today. Hold on. Sorry, y'all. All right, so remember, this book is called Soulmates and Twin Flames, A Spiritual Dimension of Love and Relationships by Elizabeth Clare Prophet. All right. And it says, the key to transmuting or changing past karma and fulfilling your mission with your twin flame is the violet flame, a spiritual energy given by God to man for his acceleration into the Aquarian age. This action of the Holy Spirit transforms negative energy, anger into love, irritation into peace, suspicion into trust, so that you can influence life positively as you work toward your ultimate victory on the spiritual path. When you visualize this violet flame and call it forth into your consciousness, it instantly begins to change negative energy patterns accumulated over thousands of lifetimes. You begin to experience feelings of joy, lightness, and hope. It's as if an entire consciousness were being dipped into a chemical solution of purple liquid, which dissolves the karma of centuries. You see this? Amethyst is purple, right? I didn't work with that violet flame, okay? This is the dissipation. Wait. What? I can't see. Dispensation? This is the dispensation many people disposition. No. What the hell is this word? Dispensation. What is this? Why can I read this? This is the disposition. I think it's supposed to be disposition. This is the disposition many people have been waiting for. Dissipation. Fuck. Dispensation. That's what that word is, right? Dispensation. I don't even know what that means. That don't even sound right. I don't know. Okay, this is the dispensation many people have been waiting for. We're just going to go with it, okay? This is why we've been evolving these tens of thousands of years, why we have gone through the cycles of understanding God as the Father and God as the Son. Now we are coming to the Holy Spirit energy, the sacred science of alchemy, of self-transformation through the violet flame. And this, it says divine alchemy. Y'all see that, right? Divine alchemy. And it says, yeah, the sacred science of alchemy, of self-transformation, which is also self-love, self-care, self-healing. All of that is self-transformation. Doing it yourself, being self-taught through the violet flame. A simple but powerful violet flame mantra you can give is, I am a being of violet fire. I am the purity God desires. I am is the transformation. What the fuck? I am is the affirmation of the God within. The I am presence, the same presence who declared to Moses, I am that I am. This is my name forever, and this is my memorial unto all generations. Exodus 3:14 through 15. Daily immersing ourselves in the cleansing energy of the violet flame through reciting violet flame mantras is the quickest and most effective way to maintain our harmony and accelerate our consciousness to our ultimate reunion with God and our twin flame. This is the baptism of the Holy Ghost that was prophesied in the New Testament by John the Baptist, Matthew 3:11. This is the gift of God for the Aquarian age. This is how the days are shortened for the elect, for the homeward journey, the overcoming of the road, the round of the wheel of rebirth. All right. So that is that information. If y'all are interested, I got, what is that? Who is this? Amazon has really cute journals and stuff like that. So if y'all are interested in journals, definitely take advantage of those things. They have different patterns and stuff like that. Y'all could do this as a collective, and when I say y'all, I'm saying all of us. And share. Taurus, I'm sending you lots of love, wisdom, and guidance on your journey. When you heal, we heal, and we all heal, okay? Together. I love you guys, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Toodles. TT out. Oh, how do I do this?